don't remember the last time that I end up using a shooting build that could not really dribble like that. With only like normal dribble moves or basic dribble moves, we're gonna end up making a Kevin Durant build on NBA 2K21 with normal dribble moves. Even though you can't make a build with pro dribble moves and Kevin Durant build on this game, it's very hard to make a 6'10 Kevin Durant build on current gen. It's possible on next gen, but on current gen, it's going to be very hard. As most of you guys might know, most of my builds are point guards, lockdowns, and somewhat go to the small forward range. But look, if you remember in last year when I end up dropping that playmaking glass video, that was maybe the first time I decided to make a somewhat center / power forward build on the game. I think the last time I used a somewhat strictly shooting build that can decently dribble was maybe 2K19, 2K17, and 15. That's kind of weird. All the odd 2Ks, I always make a shooting build that can somewhat dribble, but it does have good shooting abilities. But for our first build, I'm going to give you two builds in this video. The first build is a small forward. We're going to make a small forward Kevin Durant build. Is that his position that he plays? As the pie chart we're going to be using is the sharpshooting playmaking pie chart with more sharpshooting. So as you see, we got more green, less yellow, but just a decent amount. With this build, we will be able to get normal dribble moves. That is the key. We just want normal dribble moves. We are not going to be able to get pro dribble moves, but we're going to get normal dribble moves because we got to make them as real as possible. As we look at the physicals, you can go with the speed pie chart or you can go to the fourth one, the speed and vertical pie chart. But as you being a small forward, I recommend going with the speed pie chart at the top. It would be real crazy if you end up playing somewhat a center position on this build, especially being a small forward, and you use the speed pie chart. But as you being somewhat a Kevin Durant ball handler, you're going to need the speed. So if you add the speed up, if you add +8 to what this is, once I lower the weight, you will get a decent amount of speed. You'll maybe have a 90 speed by the end of getting this build to 99. But check this out. As we're getting this build, we have one finishing badge. You're going to have a driving nut, a driving layup, as necessary. It's Kevin Durant. He's going to dunk the ball. He's going to lay the ball up. But also the shooting abilities on this build. As you really don't need that many shooting badges on NBA 2K21 current gen, you could really get away with 22 shooting badges if you really want. But as being a Kevin Durant build, we'll go with the 24, and that's the main key. We're going to be a shooting build. But look at this. We have 16 playmaking badges. 16. This is good enough. And they're on gold. 16 playmaking badges on gold. So look, Hall of Fame shooting 24, 16 gold. And then with the defensive, we're going to get around 8 to 9 defensive badges. As we get 8, maxing out mostly everything, we're going to get 8 to 9. I think if you max out all the way, you'll get 9. But most of the time, you're going to end up getting 8. That's the badge count of getting 1, 24, 16, and 8. This build is looking spot on, especially looking like a play shot build. This is literally a play shot build with the pie chart, but one more shooting. As we get to the height, wingspan, and weight, you're going to see a big change on this build. As we get to the body type, you can put compact, you can put solid, you can put defined if you want to, but make sure you keep this build at 6'7". 6'7", this will be a great build. You could somewhat go to 6'8". Just know when you raise your wingspan, you will have to grind out that to get that 70 ball control. But as we go to 185, you can go 180, but 185 is just good enough. We have an 82 speed. An 82 speed. So that means when I hit 99 overall with the +8 attributes, you're going to end up having a 90 speed on this build. And that's fast to also be a sharpshooting type build. But look, we're not all the way done. We're not all the way done. As you see the stats, we have an 80 3-pointer, just 80. We want to get this build to an 82 3-pointer, so I knocked it down 2 wingspans from max 87.0 to get an 82 3-pointer. At 99 overall of this build, you will have a 86 3-pointer, and if you hit that threshold, you're going to shoot very consistently as a play shot with a 95, 94 3-pointer. But if you're somebody that's not going to end up grinding this build and keeping it at 99, I prefer you to go one more wingspan down and get an 83 3-pointer, especially if you drop down to 98. You will end up still having that 86 3-pointer threshold. But check this out, If you're someone that's not going to keep this build to 98 or 99, I won't prefer you to make this. I have a whole different build for you. Especially if you're somebody that doesn't care for the dribbling, you just want to be able to shoot the ball, play decent amount of defense, and still have that KD mentality, and still be able to dunk the ball, lay the ball up. I got y'all. But on this build, I was really thinking about putting playmaking takeover. As you guys know, I have no builds with playmaking takeover on it yet. So if you guys want to let me know in the comment section, you want playmaking takeover or sharp takeover, I'm leaning towards the sharp takeover because this is a Kevin Durant build. But as playmaking takeover on this type of build, that will be real crazy. But hold on. For the next build is a power forward. It's the same thing as what we're about to work on, but it's a power forward, but we will change the pie charts. The pie charts will change slightly. We're going to the all sharpshooting pie chart, pure green pie chart. That means Hall of Fame on only this, the same as the other one, but it's a little more different because you have a higher three-pointer. As you come out the gate, with a physical profile, if you're going to somewhat play center on this build, I would prefer you to somewhat mess with speed and vertical pie chart because, hey, it's going to help you get rebounds, but also it's going to put you at a disadvantage when you try to recover on defense. In my opinion, I prefer going with the speed pie chart. If you guys want to mess with it, I prefer speed pie chart, the first one. If you want speed and vertical, you can go with the fourth pie chart. But I'm going with the first one. You can try it out if you want to. I'm going to show you both versions of the build with speed and vertical and only speed pie chart. But as we mess with this build, we got to put our dunks and layups up. We got to. It's mandatory. But with the shooting, some of you guys might be, okay, you're going to do a 27-30 shooting on this build because he has literally a 99 three-pointer. But once you change the wingspan, it maybe have like an 80, 92, something like that. But look, you don't need this many badges. You really don't. But since you're a spot up 24 to 25, it'll get the job done. It definitely will. It's more than enough to get the job done. But look, once you come to this part of actually changing your defensive and stuff, you're going to have a total of 10 defensive badges. 10 defensive badges on a center. It's not a lot, but it still can somewhat get the job done and get a stop on a paint beast, especially with you having your interior defense up. It's going to help. But what actually having this 7 playmaking badges, most people I know maybe have 3, 4, maybe 5 playmaking badges. But with this build having 1, 25, 7, and 10, this is looking more like one of the best stretch big builds you might see on the game. To be honest, this might look like one of the best stretch big builds on the game. But as you see, the speed and vertical on this build is 62, 63. But after I changed the height to 6'7", we have a 70 speed and a 69 vertical. So check this out. When I go lowest weight, I have a 73 and my 69 vertical stays the same. But also, we're going to switch to the other pie chart of only speed. The speed pie chart, as you see, is switched to 65 speed to 55 vertical. You should at least have maybe around a 65, 64 vertical. By the time we end up lowering the weight and we end up changing the height, you should have somewhat around a 60, because you got to add that +8 when you hit 99 or get close to 99. But look at it, 65, 55, and then when you actually change it of the height being a 6'7", lowest weight, and then max wingspan, you will see a big difference. As I change this, you want to see it's going to shoot up to a 73 speed. Actually, it might shoot up to a 76 speed, +8, that's an 84 speed at 99, and what you still having +8, that's a 68 vertical. So it's somewhat similar, but as you hit 99 overall with the speed and vertical pie chart, you end up having a 78 vertical on that build. But keep this in mind, it's going to be hard for you to compete against these 6'8" or 6'7" pure red centers or pure red power forwards with a 94 speed and then something 92 vertical, stuff like that. Just keep that in mind. It's going to be very hard. But as this build is supposed to be done, what it's supposed to be doing, of being able to shoot the ball, somewhat decently dribble, and play slight defense, it looked like this is going to be maybe the go-to build. Based on you guys, should I go with the sharp facilitator or should I go with the stretch big? But for the takeover, anything that's not sharpshooter is not necessary. Like, come on, bro, sharpshooter, it's going to be the game key that I'm going to pick, especially on this game. But as we get the name Stretch 4, this is one of the best builds in the game. Stretch 4 is one of the best builds. Sharp Facilitator, you somewhat don't see that many Sharp Facilitators because a lot of people use Stretch 4s. But as we get into the badges of the Stretch 4, you can use Contact Finisher, and you can end up maybe using Showtime. Even though it's on bronze, it's going to help you. Or you can do Pro Touch. But when it comes to the shooting part, these are the main badges I always use, even on my play shot. Deadeye, Hot Zone Hunter, Range Extender, Green Machine, Clutch Shooter on silver. Anything past silver is unnecessary because, bro, I'm telling you, you get the same boost. You know what I'm saying? And you get the same boost, and you can maybe do a hot start if you want to, but this will be somewhat what I would use with volume shooter. But as you being a spot up based on how you play, as being a spot up and you're playing, I'll put that corner specialist on instead of hot start, or take off the volume shooter. That would be my main thing. I would maybe do catch and shoot on bronze, but you really don't need catch and shoot on this game. But it's up to you guys based on how you play and the people you play with. If you're somebody that play with randoms, I will go with the second setup. But as we having 7 playmaking badges, this is going to make a big difference. This is going to be a big difference. Now we have quick first step and the pluckable, and then we got bronze bailout. We got all the badges we really need. That's all you really need, especially on a build that does not get handles for days. As this build having decent defense to be a center, decent at the minimum, like literally bare minimum, this is decent defense on this build. I would go with clamps on bronze based on where I'm playing it. I might be at the 2, I might be at the 3. So I would mostly have that bronze clamps just in case if I'm playing the 2. But if I'm playing the 3, I'll take clamps off and I end up putting my rim protector maybe on silver and have my rebound chaser, or end up upping my box on silver based on who I'm going against. Because you know, when you end up going against them pure red 6'8", you're gonna definitely need them badges. But as you guys, let me know in the comment section. If you didn't drop a like yet, drop a like. Let me know if you're gonna end up making this Kevin Durant build. Which one did you like more? If you got any questions or anything that I can tweak to this build, let me know in the comment section. It's been your man ChaMoma, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And I'm out, y'all. Peace.
When you hear this shit,
Hey,
yeah. Perp in the morning, I catch him at sundown. Niggas don't fuck with me, cause I got guns now. Met up with my goons and gave him the rundown. Catch a hot boy with that ice, that's a meltdown. Straight off the dome, on God, I don't write down. Set you up next one, on God, I got right now. Got me a stick, so a nigga don't fight now. Silence my stick and I told him to pipe down. I stay with my dog like I'm Johnny, don't test me. So gone off the pike, I'm